Welcome back to Black Man's Log. I hope you're as excited as I am for the return of college football. If not, I've got a great strength of schedule video for you that'll do the trick. Let's take a look at the Big Ten East. So we're going to go weakest to strongest schedule here, and in the East it's definitely Michigan. The defending Big Ten champions are actually the ones with the weakest schedule here. 12-2 and 21. ESPN FPI is predicting an 11-1 regular season for the Wolverines. Only 2 ranked teams on the schedule at the moment. They have 3 almost 4 weeks of tune-up games. Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn are the first 3 weeks, and then Big Ten play starts week 4 against Maryland. October gets very interesting for them. Iowa, Indiana, Penn State, Michigan State. This will be their toughest stretch. They do have a bye week in between Penn State and Michigan State to kind of help soften the blow there, but the Iowa game is in Kinnick Stadium, so make sure the game doesn't come down to a field goal. November creates some reflection time before visiting an angry Buckeye team in Columbus. Any flaws found in October will likely be worked on against Rutgers, Nebraska, and Illinois. Nebraska likely being the best of these teams late in the season. The Wolverines may walk into Columbus undefeated, looking for a repeat of last year. Coming in at number 6, 11-2 in 2021 is my very own Buckeyes. ESPN FPI is predicting an undefeated regular season for a team with a massive chip on their shoulder. The Buckeyes won a huge top 5 showdown against Notre Dame to be 1-0, and that's likely going to set the tone for the remainder of the season. 2 tune-up games against Arkansas State and Toledo before a big week 4 showdown against Wisconsin. October is the toughest stretch for the Buckeyes, similar to the Wolverines. Rutgers starts things off, followed by a visit to East Lansing against Michigan State. A bye week follows this game, but then Iowa and Penn State are next, with the latter being away. Neither of those teams ranked currently. I would expect Penn State to be ranked before they see the Buckeyes, possibly Iowa, but neither of these teams are going to roll over for the Buckeyes, and the last time Ohio State saw Iowa, it was not pretty. November could be tricky for the Buckeyes, but likely shouldn't be. Northwestern, Indiana, and Maryland take up the majority of November. None a true threat unless these programs are experiencing a great season. In reality, these should be tune-up games before a home game against Michigan, where the Buckeyes will be itching to correct last year. Mel Tucker's Spartans rank 5th on this list. 11-2 in 2021, ESPN FPI predicting a 9-3 regular season. A winning season is nothing but good news for Mel Tucker, but the 3 predicted losses are Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, rivals and Big Ten East favorites. The season starts with 3 weeks of highly favored cakewalks. They are 1-0 already. Akron follows, and then an out-of-conference game away at Washington, which would have been marquee worthy if the Huskies didn't go 4-8 last year. End of September through October could be really rough for the Spartans, as this is their toughest stretch. Minnesota week 4 will start Big Ten play and be a solid test before the brutal October starts. A bye week on the 22nd creates some breathing room. Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Michigan, all likely to be ranked around this time, will decide the Spartans' CFP and Big Ten hopes. The season ends with the bottom of the Big Ten, Illinois, Rutgers, Indiana, before a Rivals Week game at Penn State. The Terrapins are just outside the top 3 in this list, 7-6 in 2021, ESPN FPI predicting a 7-5 regular season. The best thing Maryland has going for them in the schedule is feeling good about being 3-0 at the start of the season against Buffalo, Charlotte, and a solid SMU team that was 8-4 last year. Otherwise, every single month comes with a reality check. The end of September calls for a visit to Ann Arbor, followed by home games against Michigan State and Purdue to start October. Indiana and Northwestern fill the remainder of October that has a bye week at the end. Again, if Northwestern is bouncing back, this could be a tough October. November brings another tough stretch: Wisconsin, Penn State, and Ohio State. The first 2 are away. The true saving grace here is that Rutgers is at the end of the schedule, so maybe they will be able to end the season on a win. Indiana starts our top 3, 2-10 in 2021. ESPN FPI is predicting a 3-9 regular season. They are already 1-0, winning a close game with Illinois by just 3 points. The best way to define their schedule is easy start with tough stretches. A win by 3 may not feel like an easy start, but home games against Idaho and Western Kentucky will give the Hoosiers some confidence as they walk into a week 4 out-of-conference showdown against now unranked Cincinnati. Big Ten play continues with Nebraska in October. Michigan, Maryland, and Rutgers. October will be tricky, but there are some wins to be had here. The last week of October will bring a bye week, but November deals the crushing blow here. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, back-to-back to end the season. October will really define the season for them, as 2 or more losses there will spell bad news for them in November. The Nittany Lions are number 2 on the list here, 7-6 and 21. ESPN FPI predicting a 9-3 regular season, which doesn't meet the goals of Franklin's program, looking for a Big Ten title and a CFP appearance, but it would be an improvement compared to the last 2 seasons that total a record of 11-11. Maybe even just as important, a 9-3 regular season won't consist of a non-upple overtime loss. Penn State is already 1-0, winning a huge game against Purdue, which if you didn't watch that game, you definitely missed out on a classic. Between this game and West Virginia versus Pitt, this was a great opening to the college football season. Penn State will get to run up the score against the Ohio Bobcats, but then its CFP hopes are on the line with an out-of-conference game against Auburn. Win or lose, there needs to be no hangover the following week, as they will play Central Michigan. Now, in most cases, this would be a tune-up game, but Central Michigan did just put up 44 points against 12th-ranked Oklahoma State in their opening loss, so Penn State could be in for a back-to-back challenge. The beginning of October may treat the Nittany Lions nicely, a home game against a rebuilding Northwestern team followed by a bye week, but after that, it's Michigan, Minnesota, and Ohio State. Minnesota, the only home game of the 3. This could be a rough October if they don't get things together quickly. The bottom of the Big Ten creates solid matchups with Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers, but truthfully will be late season tune-up games to prepare for a final home game against Michigan State. Remember the team that had no business playing Wake Forest last year? Greg Schiano's Fighting Schianos, 5-7 in 2021. ESPN FPI predicting a 3-9 regular season, tops number 1 on the list here. This would be a clear setback to Schiano's 3rd-year program. They're going to start with an out-of-conference game against Boston College, which was a solid matchup that turned into a win. Obviously no CFP implications here, but this win is sure to define the season. The Scarlet Knights return home for 2 weeks of tune-up games against Wagner and Temple, the latter not a team to go quietly, and then there's the rest of the season. Iowa, away at Ohio State, and Nebraska before a much-needed bye week. Indiana will fill the following week in what should be a winnable game for Rutgers, but then Minnesota, Michigan, Michigan State, and Penn State follow. A 4-week gauntlet that will get them to the end of the season against an also likely battered Maryland team. That 3-9 schedule is very possible. Hell, I might even say 2-10. So those are my thoughts regarding the strength of schedule here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Thanks for joining me on Black Man's Log.
But you have to admit, I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around.